This is a story of 17th century, where a rich and famous boy was living with his family with pride and glory. Everything was looking perfect, but fate had written something else for him. His life completely changes at that time, when a dangerous vampire curses him and turns him into a scarecrow, and then buries him alive in the grave. But the story does not end here. 200 years later, one day he suddenly frees himself from his grave and returns to this changed world. Now the question is, how did that boy live for 200 years? And what was the real intention of that sorceress who cursed him? In today's story, we will unveil all these mysteries, so let's start. The story begins in 1760, where we reach the story of the Collins family. There are only 3 people in this family: mother, father and a small boy named Barnabas. Barnabas's family was very rich. His father had a big business of fishing in the sea. He set up a new town on the coast of the sea, a little far from America, and named it Collinsport, Barnabas's father, Oxford, and as soon as he saw it, his business started flourishing rapidly. During this time, Barnabas had also grown up and become young. In these days of youth, his life took a dangerous turn. There was a maid working in his house. Her name was Angelic. Gradually a relationship began to develop between Barnabas and Angelic, but this relationship was about to reach a dangerous end soon. One day, Angelic clearly told Barnabas, "I love you very much, and now I want to marry you and spend the rest of my life with you." But Barnabas rejected him in a cold tone. Hearing this, Angelic's love turned into hatred. He took the help of black magic to take revenge, and on a terrifying night, he dropped a huge statue of the mansion and killed Barnabas's parents. It was true, it was sacred, but Angelic could never bear it. She again takes the help of black magic, and takes Gisette under her control. Gisette comes under the influence of magic and moves towards a high mountain. Before reaching there, Gisette jumps off the mountain and kills himself. Barnabas, seeing his love die in front of his eyes, he also breaks, and jumps off the same mountain, but he does not die, because Angelic had cursed him, an immortal curse. He was no longer a human, as a vampire, a creature that can never die. Now Angelic knew that it was impossible to kill Barnabas. That's why she provoked the villagers. The villagers came with fire and weapons. They caught Barnabas, and locked him in an iron coffin and buried him in the ground. After 200 years later, the year 1979 comes. We saw a girl, Victoria. She is coming to Collinsport by train. She takes a lift from the station to the Collinwood mansion. She knocks on the door of the mansion, and there the servant welcomes her. Inside the mansion, Victoria's eyes go to an old picture. In the picture, the same face of Barnabas. With curiosity, she asks, "Who is this?" Then the owner of the mansion, Elizabeth, comes and tells, "These are Barnabas Collins, the most pious and great member of our family." Here we learn that Elizabeth is also from the same Collins family. She had advertised in the newspaper that she needed a caretaker, who could take care of her brother Roger's son David. Elizabeth introduces Victoria to the mansion. She tells that now only a few people live in this huge mansion: me, my daughter Caroline, my brother Roger and his son David. When Victoria asks about David's mother, Elizabeth takes a deep breath and tells, she was drowned in the sea. But David could not believe this truth. He feels that his mother is still alive. He can see her, and he also talks to her. After this, Elizabeth introduces Victoria to her daughter, Caroline. Caroline was a little naughty and stubborn girl. At dinner, Elizabeth introduces Victoria to David's father, Roger. Another person is sitting at the same dinner table. Julia was a psychiatrist by profession. Actually, David still claimed that he could see his mother and talk to her. For this reason, Elizabeth called Julia, and she had been living in the mansion for the last 3 years and treating David. Meanwhile, Victoria's eyes fall on a white sheet-covered figure. She felt that this is David who has come to scare her. But when she removes the sheet, there is no person in front of her. Instead, Josette's soul stands. The soul tells her only one sentence: "He is coming." Saying this, the soul slowly goes away and suddenly disappears. On the other hand, some laborers were digging from JCB only. Then they feel something hard under the ground. When the soil is removed, a coffin is seen there, the same coffin in which Barnabas was imprisoned for 200 years. As soon as his supervisor cuts the chains of the coffin, Barnabas is freed from his imprisonment. As soon as he comes out of the coffin, he breaks down on the laborers and kills everyone one by one. After this, Barnabas returns to his home Collinwood mansion. In the garden, he meets Willie. Barnabas hypnotizes him and puts him under his control and asks, "Does the Collins family still live in this house?" Willie answers with a nervous yes. Then Barnabas enters the mansion. His eyes fall on the royal things of the mansion, and he starts looking at everything carefully. He tells Willie what the real story of these things is. Meanwhile, he meets Caroline and David. Caroline looks at him and thinks that maybe he is crazy or drunk, but David shows the old picture of Barnabas on the wall. As soon as he sees the picture, Barnabas stops and says, "Yes, this is my picture. When I was standing here, a great artist had made it." Meanwhile, Elizabeth arrives there and orders the children to stay away from Barnabas. David says that he is calling himself our relative, but Elizabeth considers him a cheater. She takes Barnabas to the other room of the mansion and says in a harsh tone, "If this is a joke, finish it here." To prove his truth, Barnabas opens a secret door of the mansion and takes Elizabeth inside. On that way they reach a secret cellar. There were a lot of diamonds and jewels. He will not reach there. After this, the whole family gathers at the dinner table. There, Elizabeth tells everyone that Barnabas is her distant relative. Then Dr. Julia also comes and Elizabeth makes him meet Barnabas. During dinner, Barnabas asks about his old fishing business. Elizabeth tells with a heavy heart that our business has almost died because a woman named Angelique has taken over the whole business by dealing with fishermen. Hearing this, Barnabas looks at everyone with deep eyes and says in a harsh tone, "Now I have come and I will take the business of the Collins family to the top again." Meanwhile, Victoria arrives there. As soon as Barnabas sees her, he stops and suddenly calls her Gisette, because Victoria's face was similar to his lost love Gisette. After a while, the two talk to each other and Victoria introduces herself. Then the story shows us Angelique, actually the same Angelique who had ruined Barnabas's life. Centuries ago, she had become a witch by the power of black magic, and by changing her name she had been alive in different forms for 200 years. She reaches her office where she finds out that last night the workers found a 200-year-old coffin during the excavation, and that same night, all the workers were killed mercilessly. Hearing this, Angelique's face turns pale. She herself reaches that place and is convinced that Barnabas has returned. Then she goes straight to the Collinwood mansion. There she meets Elizabeth, but then Barnabas comes forward and shakes hands with her. At that moment, the spark of recognition rises in her eyes. Barnabas understands that she is the same woman, the same witch Angelique. After this, Barnabas takes her to a room and talks about business. Angelique smiles and says, "Now this business is mine, and I think you have recognized who I am." Barnabas looks into her eyes and says, "Yes, you are the same witch who took everything from me, my parents, my love, everything is over, and I will put you in jail for black magic." Angelique shivers and replies, "You can't do anything like this. No one will believe you, because I have been living with respect in this society for 200 years in different forms, and now Collinsport is mine." Angelique leaves from there. As soon as she leaves, Barnabas tells Elizabeth everything. His voice hurts. "This is the woman who took my parents' life and took my love from me, and I couldn't do anything." Elizabeth looks into his eyes and says in a loud voice, "Barnabas, you can still do it. You can start this business again and you can take the Collins family to the heights where it used to be." After this, Barnabas gets his mansion repaired first. Broken walls stand again, and by decorating them with beautiful paintings, he makes the mansion royal and magnificent again. To increase his business he takes Willie with him and meets the big fisherman, and hypnotizing them with his mysterious power, he leaves Angelique and forces her to work for the Collins family. As a result his fishing business flourishes again, but in the meantime, Dr. Julia doubts him. One night she sees that Barnabas is peeping into Carolyn's room and looking at the lamp there with strange eyes. As he is trying to understand this, Julia stops him and says, "I am a psychiatrist, I treat the mind." With his art, he hypnotizes Barnabas himself, and his real truth is known, that he is not a human being but a vampire. When the truth comes out Julia talks to Elizabeth and says, "I have known everything. Barnabas is a vampire. Why have you kept him in your house?" Elizabeth says with a cold breath, "Let this be a secret. His family members will not have to face any danger." Here Barnabas is trying to learn from Carolyn how to love in this new age. Carolyn smiles and replies, "First of all, you have to change your look and strange behavior. Live like an ordinary human being, then love will teach itself." The next day, Dr. Julia takes a step further. She takes out Barnabas' blood and makes him believe that by putting human blood in him, she can make him human again. Meanwhile, we see Barnabas and Victoria walking side by side. It was clear from their eyes that they were starting to like each other. There Angelique meets her business partners. Everyone complains that their business is continuously falling, because Barnabas' business is growing rapidly. In anger, Angelique says arrange a meeting between me and Barnabas. In the evening, she meets Barnabas and tells him with a check, "Take this money and leave the fish business." But Barnabas rejects her. Then Angelique comes close to him, tries to convince him and says, "We will do business together." She flirts with him and finally, they become intimate as vampires, but Barnabas' answer remains the same, "What you did to me, I can never forgive it." Meanwhile, Victoria has a terrible dream. She sees her childhood in it, how she used to see Josette's soul from a young age and talk to her, but her parents thought her words were madness and sent her to a mental hospital. As soon as she awoke from the dream, she saw the same soul in front of her. She goes to the big hall of the mansion behind her. The soul climbs on the swing and jumps like she had committed suicide years ago. The next day, Barnabas with everyone's consent holds a grand party in the mansion and invites many people from all over the city. The party is on its climax. Then he looks at David. David stands outside a room and says, "Dad has forbidden anyone to go inside." Hearing this, Barnabas suspects that something is wrong inside. He quietly climbs on the window and looks. David's father Roger is having fun with a girl. Barnabas understands that Roger is being unfaithful to his own family. Meanwhile, Victoria stands outside. Barnabas goes to her and asks her to come inside, but Victoria starts telling the dark truth. She says, "I have seen a girl's soul from my childhood, but my parents could not understand it. That's why my childhood was full of pain and suffering. One day, the same soul brought me to Collinwood, and when I came here and met you, I felt as if I had known you for centuries. Maybe it was my fate that I met you. Now you look like me." Saying this, she comes closer to him and they start kissing each other. But all this is seen by Angelic from afar, who arrived at the party without calling. After the party, Barnabas goes straight to Dr. Julia. There he sees that Julia is giving herself blood from his body. That's when he realizes the truth. Julia was pretending to make him a human, when in fact she was trying to become immortal. In anger, Barnabas kills her there and with the help of Willie, throws her body into the depths of the sea. That same night, Roser is trying to find a secret door to the mansion, but Barnabas catches him. He already knew that Roser had married David's mother for money. He gives Roser two options: first, stay here and be David's father, and second option, disappear forever. Roser chooses the second option without thinking twice. He leaves his son and leaves the mansion forever. Seeing his father leaving, David runs to the stairs crying. That's when his leg slips and a heavy swing from above starts falling on him. Barnabas reaches there in a blink of an eye, and saves David's life. Everyone is shocked to see this because such speed and power was not possible for any human. But then a ray of sunlight falls on Barnabas and his skin starts burning. Screaming, his body catches fire, but Willie immediately pours water on him and saves him. After this incident, the truth is revealed to everyone. Barnabas is actually a vampire. People fear him and run away. Victoria also understands that he is not an ordinary human, and with this fear, she also slowly starts moving away from him. After this, Barnabas goes straight to Angelic and begs him to free him from this curse. But Angelic, laughing at his words, she says, "You have only two options: either stay with me, be my lover, and run this business with me, or rot in that coffin forever." Barnabas rejects his offer and says, "I can never be yours." Hearing this, Angelic's hatred deepens even more. She talks about Dr. Julia as if she is intentionally provoking him. In anger, Barnabas accepts that, yes, he killed Julia. This was the mistake that Angelic was waiting for. As soon as Barnabas leaves, Angelic uses her black magic, and as soon as the blade flashes, she locks him in the coffin again. She ties his entire body with thick iron chains so that he cannot come out again. Then she orders her men and pulls Barnabas to her fishing factory. There she sets it on fire. The burning factory in flames and the smoke-filled sky seem to bear witness to her victory. After this, Angelic and Barnabas are hidden in a dense, desolate jungle like dilapidated, which her mother's soul had shown the way. The little boy gathered his courage and opened the chains of the coffin and set Barnabas free. On the other side, seeing the burning factory, the police in the whole city had gathered there, and at the same time, Angelic comes in front of everyone and announces on the mic, "I have heard it with my own eyes." Barnabas himself admitted that he had killed Dr. Julia. His voice echoes amidst the clashes of fire and the screams of the crowd, and the whole city considers Barnabas a dangerous killer. Angelic also tells the police that Barnabas is a murderous vampire, and his family is as guilty because they deceived everyone. Hearing this, the police directly reach the Collinwood mansion. As soon as Angelic steps there, Barnabas comes out of anger with red eyes, slaps him on the neck and pierces his pointed teeth. But his shock does not affect Angelic. She uses her dark powers with a cold smile and throws Barnabas so far that he collides with the wall and falls. Seeing this, everyone stands up. People now believe that they are not humans, but dangerous vampires. The police immediately orders everyone to get out. It is dangerous to stay here, and the whole town runs out of the mansion. Now in the middle of the mansion, a scary and destructive fight between Barnabas and Angelic begins. Barnabas falls on him, but Angelic stops every attack. Then Elizabeth picks up a gun and fires directly at Angelic. The bullet gets stuck in his chest, but after a while, Angelic stands up again as if nothing had happened to him. Now she uses all her magical powers. The old things in the mansion, chairs, statues, puppets all come back to life one by one and start attacking. She leaves a poisonous snake on Elizabeth and the whole hall is on fire. The mansion, surrounded by slaps, becomes like a house of death. In this chaos, a big statue comes back to life and grabs Barnabas tightly. He shivers, but can't get out. Then the real truth comes out. Angelic with her dark powers had temporarily turned Carolyn into a ferocious wolf. Suddenly, Carolyn's body trembles, her hands and feet turn into claws and her eyes glow red. Gurgling, she slaps Angelic directly. A terrible clash begins between the two. Carolyn tries to reach her neck but Angelic's power was much stronger than that. She grabbed Carolyn and threw her on the ground and made her unconscious with a magical attack. Carolyn's body is lying there, unconscious. Now the mansion was on fire. Elizabeth was struggling with the snake. Carolyn was unconscious and Barnabas was trapped, and Angelic's victory was almost visible. After this, Angelic goes to Barnabas and kills him. She says with a cold laugh, "I ruined everything for you, and David's mother didn't drown and die. In fact, I gave her death." Hearing this, David comes there and shouts, "Leave her, or my mother will kill you." And suddenly, David's mother's soul appears there. Her spiritual power attacks Angelic. Angelic falls to the ground after colliding with a giant snake. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Barnabas is freed from the prison of that puppet and orders everyone to get out. After this, he reaches Angelic and realizes that the end of this evil witch was written by this indoor fountain. Seeing this, Angelic dies in the middle of screams forever. But the story does not end here. On the other hand, Victoria is moving towards the same mountain from where Josset had jumped. Her heart is broken because now she knows that Barnabas is a vampire and a human and a vampire can never be one. That's when Barnabas finds her and reaches there. Before falling, he bites Victoria, but Victoria says with tears in her eyes, "We can never be one because I am an ordinary human being. Now there is only one way left. You make me like you." Barnabas hears this and trembles, but refuses, and the next moment, Victoria jumps off that mountain. In the last attempt to save her, Barnabas bites her before she falls. This time Victoria does not die but she also becomes a vampire. And now after centuries of loneliness, Barnabas and Victoria finally become one. Both look at each other and smile because now they are together forever. But in the story, there is one more terrifying turn left. In the depths of the sea, we see the corpse of Dr. Julia. Suddenly her eyes open because Barnabas had bitten her too. And now she has also become a vampire. And with this cold silence, this story ends here. Thanks for watching.